Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of The Night Raven. If you've been here before, you know that we talk about everything different, strange, woo woo, metaphysical, and woke, because actually today that's what the topic is. So, when I first talked to Lindsay, who is a dear friend of mine and my guest today, I'm going to let herself introduce herself. I'm going to let her introduce herself in a moment. But when we talked about what she may want to talk about on the podcast, she gave me two options. And one of them was how woke is the new witch hunt. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just so spot on. And I really wanted to talk about this today. So I invited her on this podcast. Hey, Lindsay, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Do you want to let the viewers know a little bit about yourself first, who you are, what you do? I know you have many, many talents.
Yes, I am Lindsay Lyons. I am a Reiki master, psychic medium, intuitive energy healer. Oh gosh, what's not on my list at this point? Reflexologist. I just
Oh,
got certified as a beginner Akashic record reader. So I am spirit led with everything I do. Um, and yeah, so that's I feel like the woke as the latest witch hunt has been coming up in my life a lot lately, and it's like, yeah, let's make that a topic.
I mean, that is so almost in our faces. I don't know why. Maybe
Yeah,
somebody has talked about it before, but I have never heard it in that way. So when you said that, I'm like, oh my God, why did I not think of that? Because it's
yeah,
actually the truth. And so
yeah,
I looked up a few things because in my mind, I always thought this is something new, like a new term. But when I
yeah,
looked it up, just for the viewers or listeners, it is really not anything super new. I mean, and I was surprised. So, just to give a little bit of history to somebody who's listening or watching. So, the first time I read something or saw it, it was 1938, actually. Huddie Ledbetter used the phrase in his song Scottsboro Boys to warn Black Americans about racial violence. And then in 1962, the New York Times discussed woke as a black slang. In 1972,
mhm,
Barry Beckham used the phrase in Garvey Lives to symbolize political awakening. And so this has been around for a long time. And I guess
yeah,
in the late 2010s, the term was increasingly used by disapproving conservatives, shifting from progressive awareness to critical label. And today, present, woke is now often used as a derogatory political slogan in discussions about DEI and culture wars. I mean, this is some
yeah,
serious things. I
yeah,
figured it was something newer, but looking into this has been around for a long time. It's just now being weaponized, I guess.
yeah. And even, if you think about how many times there have been witch hunts,
Mm-hmm.
and all witch hunts are really to use fear, to
Yes.
use control, to
Mm-hmm.
essentially turn the masses on each other, to point the finger of righteousness. And a lot of your original, um, like witch hunts, they were healers.
Yes. Healers, I mean,
Um,
women, midwives,
Midwives,
herbalists.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So people who have used what nature provided them and the wisdom passed down from their ancestors down to them for
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of years all of a sudden got weaponized. And yeah, so
You're
I
right.
feel like we're in such a landscape where it's not even just, there is a big political piece of it, 100%.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Um, but I feel like, if you're too concerned about humanity,
Mm-hmm.
you're too woke. If you're
Yeah.
too concerned about sharing of resources, you're too woke.
Mm-hmm.
If you're too concerned about how do we prevent harm for our children, You're too woke.
Yeah.
And it's just like this, I feel like a pinball almost. Like, how do I navigate this world and this viewpoint that I have? How do I say the right things to the wrong people so that I'm not,
Yes.
that I'm not being like this sense of persecution, you know?
Yeah.
I think, it's coming up too in the spiritual world quite a bit.
It's really sad that we're back here again. I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
wasn't there with the witch hunt, or maybe I was, and I just don't remember my previous life. But it seems like it's coming to a full circle again. We have to like start all over. It's like it's just never.
Yeah.
It's never. I fear it's never going to end. And so, I guess now it's instead of a witch hunt or witches, you're woke. So it's a new term.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was kind of thinking about this too, because I was like, how far back does wokeness go?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm gonna bring the Bible into this. For
Okay.
some reason, the whole story of the Garden of Eden is coming to light.
Okay.
And what if the Garden of Eden was a mental state of ignorance and bliss?
Yeah.
And the tree of knowledge, eating from the tree of knowledge, you could no longer exist in the Garden of Eden in the ignorance of bliss,
Mm-hmm.
because now you had the experience of the duality of it all. It exposed it all. So how could you ever go back?
Yeah.
Was that the first woke? I don't know. But it like
Probably
got
because
me
they're blaming, maybe
well,
because
they
they're
blame the
blaming a
woman
woman
too,
for it, you
so
know?
exactly. So yeah. I think too, like, how do we as a collective, how do we stand up from that fear of feeling like we are the targets of the new witch hunt?
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, because I mean everything is so weaponized anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so radically weaponized. There's so much divide. There's so much hate. We can't see each other as just divine beings,
No.
and it's sad.
It's very sad. Yeah, we're starting all over. But I mean, when we talk, like even in the metaphysical community, when we talk about like, oppression or even like competition or anything that is, not positive, everything really starts, it's fear-based. People are usually
Yes.
afraid that either they're not getting enough time, they're not getting enough clients, or somebody may be better than them. Everything, that's really negative, is fear-based. So it's really the fear that we need to try to heal somehow, some way. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I feel.
Do you feel like fear of scarcity plays
Yeah.
into it?
Yeah. Fear
And
of lack. Yeah.
even in the sense of in the political side of, um, playing into, well, they're not deserving of these resources because whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put myself out there. I believe in basic life needs should be fundamentally given. Like, who am I to say you're worthy of healthcare, but you're not? You're worthy of food, but you're not. Like, that's not okay with me. That doesn't sit right in my essence.
Yeah.
Um, but like, is the root of it the scarcity?
Yeah. But I wonder sometimes, I feel the same way you do. Okay. I would
Mhm.
consider myself woke completely. So just so
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody who knows me knows this. I think though something, I sometimes I wonder if, and I may get pushback for that, but sometimes I wonder if education has something to do with it, because common sense, I feel like, sometimes tells me that there's enough. I mean, I don't see why they can't
Mhm.
give like healthcare to a lot of people or everybody, because I don't think they would take it away from me just so somebody else can have it. And I think that should be common sense, you know? So I
Yeah,
wonder why sometimes people, they get so worried. Is it that they're not educated enough about a certain topic or something, where I just
yeah,
don't understand it sometimes, you know?
yeah. Well, I mean, too, like I see numerous times when people are having, major health episodes going on where they need that financial support. We already show up for each other. GoFundMe is kind of based off of that. And I know there's other um, apps and structures put in place for donating towards people's needs. So we're already, as a community, inclined in our hearts to give a helping hand. If we just redistribute the pool a little bit, maybe it would look a little different.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to have this competition. I don't know if that's the right word, of proving like that I deserve it.
Yeah. I think some things are basic rights, like you said. You know, everybody should have healthcare and food and water and housing and things like that. But I also believe it's fear based, but also there's a lot of greed, like with those big corporations.
Yeah.
I mean, not and now I feel like they're finally realizing that we are waking up, whether you want to call it woke or
Yeah.
something else. But you know, we're realizing that it can't be this way anymore. And it's not just in the United States. You know, there are other countries in this world where it's like it's the same. It's just people are waking up and saying enough is enough, you know.
Yeah.
And now they're afraid that we're actually standing up against them, and now they're trying to weaponize the woke, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of just try to keep us down.
Just suppress us back down of get back
Yep.
in line, get back in
Get back
place.
in line, stay in your lane, don't speak up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, like fear is so powerful, and it's something I say a lot. It's so powerful. We have natural fear responses:
Yeah.
flight, fright, freeze, fawn. Like we have so many natural responses built into us that were ingrained in us for our own survival back in early days, so that predators couldn't harm us.
Mm-hmm.
um, but how it's evolved over time with different structures put in place, you know how much of that control do you want to give away?
Yeah.
you know and I do feel like I do think it keeps some people from waking up, because, well, I don't want to disappoint my family. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have, you know, these things done or these comments made where I work. I don't want to, because we're seeing it happen in personal relationships. We see it happen in work environments where people are poking the bears of if you're woke or not,
Yeah.
testing you.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where you see the witch hunt of it. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see who I can find that is too woke, and essentially preach to them of why they're wrong and evil and all the things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in some people. Like, you know, all those multi-billionaires. I mean, it's like, how much more money can you have? How much more money can you know, it's like, I mean, if I would have
exactly.
$1 million, I would be happy, you know, and then
I
there's people
know.
out there who have billions of dollars, but they're like, oh no, those people can't have anything. And I'm like, what? I mean, how much more do
You're
you
not even going to be able
need?
to spend $1 billion in
You,
your entire lifetime.
yeah, exactly. You couldn't do
Come
that.
on.
So what else is going on? I wonder what else is going on in them. You know, is it power? Is it just pure power struggle that they want? you to know that they can do it or not. It's like I don't understand it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then you also have a lot of the billionaires now, like they control a lot of the digital media at this
Yeah.
point. And so there's even censorship that goes on, um, which I find comical in a country where our very First Amendment is supposed to be freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
Yep.
And here we are,
Here we are
censored.
starting all over again. But I guess we're here for the fight, you know? I always
Yeah.
say, you know, sometimes I talk to like other spiritual people and we always talk about things like, or I noticed, you know, when I do readings that there's a lot of people out there who are now waking up literally and they're being activated
Mhm.
as far as like light
Yeah.
workers, you know, and I feel like that this is happening now because they're needed, you know, because we need to be here to stand up to maybe what's coming or what's already here, you know?
Yeah. It's like we're building the web of the safety net
Yeah.
with each
And I
other, for
always,
each other.
yeah. I always
Yeah.
say to my clients, like in a reading, you know, if that comes up, you know, sometimes when you do a lot of readings, especially like at a fair or something, you have one after another, you know, you notice a pattern. And lately, what I've noticed
Mhm.
is that there's a lot of people waking up literally, and they're like, you know, I feel like I need to do something different in my life, and I don't know where to
Yeah.
start, you know, things like that. And
Yeah.
you know, in the reading, we just go over stuff like that, and you know, I am convinced that this is the reason why. This is why Spirit sends us more of us because we need more light workers and we
Yeah.
really need to reach out and help each other. We need to support each other and we need to support, you know, those who cannot support themselves or help themselves. And
Yeah.
yeah, we can't let
I
that new
agree.
witch hunt happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening, but I
Um,
think we need to stop it.
it is happening. Yeah. I also see a lot with my clients this, it's a battle internally for them of,
Yeah.
like their patterns of beliefs and just kind of like this internalized, like, wait,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what, how do I process this? How do I navigate life with this?
Mm-hmm.
My family's not going to accept any of this.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, I even come from a family where it's, I have the label of being evil. I will be going to hell. I, you
Really?
know, I, I do stupid shit with rocks.
You
Okay,
mean
that's
crystals?
fine. Exactly. So, it's everybody's going to have a judgment of you. Do you want to be judged by who you are to your core,
Mm-hmm.
or do you want to be judged by the expectations of who you thought you were supposed to be, or who they
Yeah.
told you were supposed to be?
I mean, it's like you've been programmed all your life. You didn't know anything else, or it's just like that's the life you lived, and all of a sudden somebody's telling you something different. Of course, it's hard to break out of that. And I'm not saying that every organized religion is bad. It's just you can't suppress people. That's just my
I
belief.
agree.
You know?
I agree. I don't subscribe to a religion personally because they just, even as a kid, I always question,
Mm-hmm.
how do we know that this one has it all right though?
Yeah.
We don't know. And
Yeah.
I gave my mom a lot of trouble as a kid. I know, because I asked a lot of questions that kind of frustrated her because it mm, challenged her. And I wasn't doing it to create challenge for her. I was just trying to really understand, but why is this? I grew up Catholic. Why is Catholicism the right religion? Is it possible that all the religions have pieces of them that are right, but pieces that are missing, or pieces that aren't quite right and maybe wrong? Is it possible? And so,
Yeah.
um, even as a kid, I was questioning a lot of things, and it wasn't until I was an adult and really on my own, and deciding, you know what, I'm not being forced to go to church anymore. Nobody has that power over me. I'm going to discover myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You I mean, woke is not something bad. You just have to be educated about things. That's just how I
It,
feel, you know?
I feel like it's like expanding your consciousness,
Yeah.
expanding your, it's like, you know, you start off with like these blinders, if you will. And if you choose to, you start pulling them back a little bit further, or even getting them to where they're not on anymore, because you want to seek more knowledge. You want to have a deeper understanding of it. Um, and I think the evolution of that becomes this understanding of consciousness of divinity,
Mhm.
how we are all innately divine. And when you start adopting that, I really feel like you then automatically start acknowledging, you know, somebody as divine themselves. And I, you know, we both use the same phrase. We say, you know, hey, beautiful soul, quite often, because for me, and I'm speaking for you, but correct me, I choose to see people as souls first,
Yeah.
not as their human presence of mistakes and successes. You know, their soul.
Because on a soul level, we're all perfect. Maybe our human ego, our human expression is not always that perfect, and maybe we don't get along
Yeah,
with everybody, you know?
yeah,
But still, on a soul level, they're perfect and they're on their own journey. And so that's why I address people as beautiful souls because, you know, even if I don't want to be their friend, their soul is still perfect and they come from a place
yeah,
of love. They're here for the experience as a human being, you know, and that's what I try to
yeah,
see in everybody. It doesn't always work. You know, people sometimes push my buttons, but then it's when I try to remember or remind myself that, you know, they're here to experience all those things as well, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I agree.
yeah. And you know, when you think along that line, maybe those people that are here right now who are trying to oppress others, let's just say the government currently, what's going on. I am sure before they came into this lifetime, they chose this path. They chose to have this experience. And maybe we,
Mm-hmm.
being on the other side, chose this experience to experience that oppression, if that makes sense. You know, maybe we're all
Yeah,
here to live out that karma or to our soul lesson or to have all this
yeah,
experience based on that. And
yeah.
so sometimes I think maybe that makes it a little bit easier thinking that we all came into this lifetime at this time to have that experience, to see what it's like to be
Mm-hmm.
oppressed, or maybe to see what it's like to fight for somebody else, or maybe, you know, all those negative people right now, they came here and volunteered to play the bad part so we can
Mm-hmm.
experience that. So maybe I'm sure that's part of it, you know, but
Yeah. There has to be catalyst somewhere.
there has to be something somewhere. There has to be a good explanation for this somewhere, you know?
Right. What's the whole point? No, just kidding.
What's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think,
it
you know, something else that I was thinking about was, can woke go too far?
I'm sure. You mean like as far as like them demonizing it or weaponizing it?
Like, almost like as a person who is woke,
Uh-huh.
can I, can, you know, like, because there's two sides of the pendulum, right?
Uh-huh.
You can swing too far one way and swing too far the other way. Is there actually something to be concerned about of being too woke?
What would that look like?
I don't know. You know, it makes me wonder, like, would it then turn into like its own righteous path?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess, you know, we could be so upset about what's happening that we go woke and woke and woke and even more woke. And at some point we find ourselves at a point where it's like, wait a minute, you know, did we maybe go too far? Yeah, you're right. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's something, that popped in my head too. Like, well, you know, there's duality everywhere, you know,
Mm.
and I would be blind to the concept of it not possibly going too far. Um, but yeah, I'm really curious too. Like, how do other people feel like in this world of looking at things politically, globally, um, spiritually? You know, are they feeling that witch hunt aspect of it?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, when you look at what's going on globally right now, I mean, there's like war in the Ukraine, there's war in Gaza. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot
Yeah,
going on everywhere, you know? So I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. Maybe they don't see it as woke, you know, maybe they don't know or have not heard of that term, but they may be using a different term, you know, or maybe they
yeah.
still be using that witch hunt or persecution, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
That's
as
really what it
that,
comes down to is persecution.
right? Right. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm older, I'm noticing things more, or maybe, I mean, I always wonder, why did I not notice a lot of things when I was a little younger, like 30s, 40s. I'm in my 50s now, and then I thought back, it's maybe because I was busy with raising children. I was
Mm-hmm.
busy, doing so many things that maybe I was preoccupied, and I
Yeah,
was not able, or maybe not even interested, or I didn't have enough time to look at those things. And now that I'm by myself, my kids are grown and gone, and all of a sudden I notice all these things, and
yeah,
maybe they're not new, maybe they're just new to me because I have never seen them before,
yeah.
so, but I guess that has to do with your waking up process as well, where you're all of a sudden now it comes into your awareness.
I also think too, like we've had quite an explosion in the digital media world of
Yeah.
just sharing of knowledge and experiences and stories. And for those who have somewhat of an open mind, it makes them a little bit more curious, and so then they dive a little deeper. So I
Mhm.
think the technology that we have today, because I feel like lack of a better term, like my gateway drug to becoming more woke, um, was listening to podcasts. And that started, oh gosh, like 7, 8 years ago, of where I was just trying to, have a better understanding of myself and what I was going through. Um, and I think too, the work that I did in the hospital setting where I was at, it was a safety net hospital. And so we would get everything. We couldn't turn anybody away. And I grew up very sheltered. And so
Mhm.
it really, it was like crash course of like, you lived a very privileged upbringing. And a lot of people don't have these things in their favor.
Mhm.
And it made me start questioning of like, wait a minute, how do people exist or thrive in these kind of settings? And I,
I guess they don't.
that definitely pulled at my heartstrings for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just one person. I can't fix everything, but I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a term, and of course, I cannot think of. Oh, I think there is a term. I can't think of it right now, but I need to Google it real quick. Let me see. Oh, it's called empathy fatigue. Where
Yeah.
when and I've heard that before, and it's when you want to do so many things, so many good things, and you are so empathetic to everyone, and You see all those things that are going on, and all of a sudden you get depressed, you have anxiety, you have
Hmm.
all those things happening to you. That's called empathy exhaustion, and that's a real thing for us light workers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I think self-care is very important for us to do.
Yeah.
We
I think
can't
that's,
neglect ourselves.
yeah, I think that's definitely something I experienced. And it showed up in a lot of health related issues for me,
Yeah.
until I started actually understanding of, not absorbing everything, and having boundaries. Boundaries was always very hard for me. Still a little hard, but I've gotten a lot better. But yeah, it's that also pool of like, there's so many things happening. How can I actually help? But, and it's that question for yourself: what are you actually meant to do?
Yeah. And I guess when we say, "Oh, that's just one of me," it's I mean, I know we think that way, but I think we have to stop thinking that way, because yeah, there's like maybe one of me right now here in this house, but us as a community, we really have to uplift each other as well and support each other where we
Yeah,
can, you know,
I agree.
and send out the light to everybody and do what we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough sometimes. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever have you personally ever experienced something like that you felt like people were somehow against you because you're too woke?
Um, I did have an experience where I felt like, it actually affected my daughter more than
Oh.
me. Um, you know, it's, I've gotten braver of like expressing who I am on social media. Now, I don't ever make political posts, because I just, for me, I find that there's no way I won't trigger somebody.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
I like I like the light and love, and keeping it in a healing focus type of energy. But I'm a psychic medium, and I do tarot readings, and um, the community in which I live, you know, I have some people who are like, "Oh, that's cool," and some people who are like, and then I there are some who are, you get the eyes of like, "Oh no, like this person here." And it really expressed itself, I feel like, um, through a situation with my daughter, and she had to experience like getting ghosted by friends,
Mm.
because one of the parents of the friend group saw, you know, me advertising for readings,
What?
and that turned into like, you can't hang around her. We don't know her mom that
Oh
well.
my
Like,
god.
and I felt so bad for my daughter for having that experience.
Mhm.
I'd much rather have that been done to me directly,
Yeah.
because when you involve the kids, like, mama bear, mama bear is getting triggered here. And
Uh,
I just decided, like, I, those people don't need access to my social media, and it's just, it turned into, I'm blocking their energy.
yeah.
They can judge me. She did repair some of those friendships with those kids, but she also has an understanding that because there is judgments, that certain things that she wants to be able to do with those friends probably won't happen because of that situation.
That's
And
sad.
it did make us have conversations, and I'm like, do you disapprove of what I do? She's like, no, I want you to be you, mom. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I just don't want it affecting you.
Mhm.
And she's like, it's fine. She decided it was fine. And um, she goes, you know, she goes, you can't fix stupid sometimes. So
That's true. It's true.
Okay, if that's your viewpoint, but it did hurt her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of, I wear so many hats in the community where I live. I also teach dance, so I interact with kids. Um, I substitute at the school, so it's not like I'm like holed up in a little room in my home
Yep.
and I growing warts and all like.
Making
But
potions and brews and hexes and
right, and so it's like people know me, and it's not anything I go like to like. I will never ever share that kind of stuff with kids. That's off limits for me, and it's I have this viewpoint of who's meant to work with me will come find me because
yeah,
they're open to it,
exactly.
and those who are not, it just I won't have to worry about. I do worry as the political system because I feel like I just have this sense inside of me things are going to ramp up even more than what they currently are with this woke,
Yes.
this you know
Yes.
these it feels targeted,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I do have a little bit of my own fear being stirred up of how's that going to impact me with relationships that I have in the community where I live. How's it going to impact my children? Is it going to turn unsafe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some a creator brought to light a lawsuit that's, well, there's not a formal lawsuit, but there are things being sent out to people, um, related to if you've bought anything through Etsy that was, in the occult, right? So if you
Oh.
readings, um, herbs, spells,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So they're wanting to find information from people, and you cannot tell me that is not a witch hunt.
No. No. That
And
is clear. Yes.
yeah, I sell metaphysical items through
Yeah.
Etsy. I create, um, items that are more spiritual based,
Yeah.
and like they're in the occult category though.
Yeah.
And so, um, yeah, it's kind of one of those things of like that's also sparked some like, okay, is that going to turn into where my Etsy shop gets closed down? Like, and it wouldn't just affect me; it would affect thousands of
Yeah.
us who use that platform, um, to provide stuff for people. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things of like I try to not hold on to fear, but I would be lying if I do not acknowledge that it does exist within me, um, with the community that I live in. And then now, we're seeing in other places, there's, you got censorship on certain media platforms going on. You've got, um, the stuff with Etsy. Yeah. So I'm, I have
Yeah.
concern, you know,
Yep.
I,
Yeah.
I don't want it to go away. I want these things to grow and thrive for every one of us in this community because we have such important work to do.
I mean, it is 2025. We should not be here for real. I mean, we should not be here at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, they've tried this, more than once throughout history, and by they, I mean, like, I guess the oppressors.
hmm,
And we always stand up. We always stand back up. And even now, I feel like we'll fight back. We will
yeah,
find a way. We will always find a way. We'll always find a light,
yeah,
and we will stand up and we will come back even stronger.
yeah.
That's how I feel.
The warrior in each of us needs to shine a little bit here. Yeah,
Yeah.
brave enough.
it's wild because I know it does not just affect women, but I feel as a woman, I feel like they're really coming after us, with everything,
Yeah.
wanting us to stay at home and submit and do all of that. And while marriage is a beautiful thing, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are women who this is all they want to do, and I would say more power to you.
Yeah.
Um, but as somebody who's very independent, I mean, I was married, I liked it for a
Yeah.
while, and then I didn't, and I think that's okay too. But I mean, I feel like we should have more power, and if the more somebody wants to suppress me or us, the more I will stand up because I just
Yeah.
cannot. I can't deal. That's how I
Yeah.
am, you know?
Well, I mean, in reality, you can't say that, everybody was given free will and then go, oh, but your free will doesn't matter as much as my free will because
Exactly.
I have this Y chromosome and you have, the X chromosome. And that's what really makes it different. My willpower supersedes your willpower. And
Mhm.
it's, it's such fragile ego. Such a fragile ego to speak from that space of like, but your role should be, yeah, according to who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
According to,
exactly. Who says that?
I'm
It
the
should be
authority of, you
it's a
are the authority.
decision that both people make.
Yeah. So, and I think that, and again, I agree, like, as, if anybody chooses that this is where they feel fulfilled to be in the home as a woman, you know, creating that home life, that home structure, raising the children, do it.
Yeah.
You will never hear me go, oh, you're one of
Mhm.
the, you'll never hear me say that. Because that in and of itself has its beautiful value.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
but it's the projection
Mhm.
onto others of what they're supposed to be doing and should be doing, that, you know, is in direct conflict with being woke. It
It
really is.
is.
So,
It is. Yeah. I heard this phrase and it's been going around TikTok or wherever. I can't remember where I heard it, but it says there's two women talking and one says, how do women find strength? And then the other one says, honey, we're women, strength finds us. And I really think that's true. I mean, we've always been kind of I don't even know what to call it anymore, but we've always had to fight for our right to be here and to have the same
mhm,
right, you know?
yeah, our right to be safe,
Exactly.
our right
Exactly.
to earn,
Mhm.
our right
Yep.
to also provide for our children in other ways. Yeah,
Mhm.
our right to be heard with our voice. Yeah,
Mhm.
so much,
Exactly.
so much uh, fighting. It's engraved in us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's always so much to talk about, and I'm sure that may not be the last time we'll talk, Lindsay. Um, but this was amazing, and I'm really grateful for you to bring this up. I'm grateful for you to be here. I'm grateful you are a light worker. And I'm grateful that you actually woke enough to come and then we talk about this publicly. So um, thank you so much for doing this. I'm really thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you, and I agree. Our paths are definitely not done with each other, and they will be in
No, I'm
much
sure
more.
you'll come back on. And for everybody else who was listening, we did have some technical difficulties, and of course, my mind goes directly to, it's being interfered with based on what we're talking about. So excuse the technical little things, but I think we needed to talk about this. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for listening and um, stay woke. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. Stay woke because it's the right thing to do. You will be on the right side of history.
yeah,
Staying woke and staying alert. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll wish you guys a good night, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.